Hi Norbert, great to have you here. I'm a big fan of your Linear Pro headphone amps since many years. For more than 10 years I use a few of them. And for me they are perfect because of the transparency and the simplicity. So I just have on, off and level and that's it. So I don't need much more. And I prefer this because I don't want to play around with a lot of knobs. I just want to rely on that, and I just want to get adapted to that sound so that I can work with it. And you told me that you have released a new version, and I'm really wondering how the heck could you make this beautiful piece of gear more beautiful?
This happened in a way by chance because some years back I just got some boards made with an extreme thick copper.
You brought the boards
I have them with me,
you,
yes.
yeah.
And then I had been using better parts in another version of the Linear anyway. So what I finally did was to combine the new board with the better parts from the other unit, and the shift in quality was, well, more than we expected, really far more than we expected.
Yeah,
because even in terms of measurements, we saw improvements in the 50 hertz and multiples at around 10 to 15 dB.
Wow.
Yes,
This is insane.
This is insane. Yes, usually we celebrate everything that is better than 3 dB, and to be better in terms of 10 to 15 dB is really, definitely more than we expected.
So they look pretty similar on the first glance. So can you tell a little bit more about the differences here?
Yeah, what we see, this depends on the viewing angle, is that the copper thickness here on the new board is really much bigger. So we have 210 micrometers copper thickness on the new board versus 35 micrometer copper thickness on the regular board, which is, by the way, still in production. So the price range of the standard Linear and the standard Linear Pro is very important to us to make it possible that people buy at a more entry-level price range.
Yes. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is entry level, but anyway, you can pretty easy see in the right angle how much thicker this layering is, so to say.
Yeah.
And this is one part of the differences, right?
Yeah. Then we swapped some parts as well. We have other electrolytic capacitors. We have Mundorf versus BC components. We have other signal capacitors, which is also Mundorf again versus Apcos in parallel to Vima. And we have some more advanced filter capacitors where we have silver mica caps versus Vima FKP. And all these single features combined result in this vast improvement.
I'm really curious to hear the difference.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear your evaluation.
and then I will give you feedback on that. So I really look forward to play around with the new version. Some time ago I've heard that the Carlick studio in Berlin is also using the Linear Pro. Can you tell a little bit about the story?
Yes, this was really a big surprise for me because I hadn't heard of the Carlick Studios before, and when I received the phone call, and that was around early 2019, I literally was notified that I won a contest that I hadn't heard before. And what was the case was the Carlick Studios wanted to install new headphone amplifiers in their premises, so they ordered practically every single unit, every single version that they could get their hands on. So all the big names you have in your head immediately were on display and were on test. And so even big mastering stations whatsoever, some really very expensive stuff. And the winner of this contest, the winner of this shootout, was our just standard Linear. And this was the time when I got the notification. And this test took over a year's time, because what they did was to use every single unit of these headphone amplifiers, generate masters by making use of this headphone amplifier, and then finally put this master file to evaluation in their usual surroundings to make a final test if they really could use it, or what the
so how good
effects.
they translate and adapt to
Exactly.
reality,
So
to say.
just so that they could
how truthful they are.
how truthful they are. Yes, and so to be the winner of this contest was really a very big thing to me.
That's exciting. I can imagine.
At that time, I just had finished the new board already, and I offered to send them a version with a new board, and well, they agreed on that. And after 3 weeks' time, I got the reply, which still gives me shivers indeed. The distance to the field has become larger.
Wow! Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you for that.
One.
So I have now a really huge number of big names regarding references. The first reference, the first important reference for me was the company called Sennheiser, which had been using my linear headphone amplifiers on consumer shows and I think even pro audio shows since 2005, until they finally made their own device, of course.
Sure.
And then 2016, AKG contacted me and asked for my headphone amplifiers to launch their new top-notch, at that time, headphone K812, which also was very surprising for me because the number of electronic companies given in the Harman group, this was very astonishing that they approached me for a headphone amplifier. But of course,
absolutely. I mean, AKG themselves, they had produced headphone amps in the past already, so they have a long history on that.
Exactly.
So I have bought my first AKG headphone amp, the BAP thousands, BAP 1000 back in the 90s. It was a very sophisticated amp.
Exactly.
At that time.
That's it. So I was very proud to fly over to the Red Bull studios in London, just beside the River Thames. And this was just a great day for me.
Yeah, well.
Of course. And, well, then in Germany, the I would say legendary Bauer Studios in Ludwigsburg,
Yes.
the oldest privately owned studios in Germany, have been using my products also for some years now. And the WDR radio station in Cologne, which is, as far as I know, the biggest public radio station in Europe now, they have been using my products since I think around 2012. The Linear Pro, and in the meantime all the classical music editing rooms had been renewed several times, but the only constant product being the Linear Pro, which remains there all the time. So the sound engineers and balance engineers insisted on having this product there, and this is also a very nice compliment for me. Yes,
absolutely. No, but I really look forward to give the new version a heavy test, and I'm almost certain that it's ending up here in the studios.
Wow.
And yeah, just a big thank you for being here and visiting us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.